morning. This is Qualitha, Qualana, and Amoya, and we are Build a Sister Up. We come to you every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But today we have...
You are muted.
To turn the special guest, well, sorry, once again, we're going to turn the special topic over and Amoya, and they're going to explain. But thank you once again.
Hello, hi. Once again, we are Build a Sister Up, and we do have a special guest on today, Jouanna Span, the owner of KCS Home Care. And Jouanna is Jouanna Woods. I've known Jouanna before she got married, so that's why I called her Jouanna Span. She is Miss Woods, and she is the owner of KCS Home Care. And KCS Home Care is obviously a home care service, and it's exceptional because I trust Miss Woods with your home care needs. She's going to get into it and tell us a little bit more about it. But welcome, Miss Jouanna Woods, to Build a Sister Up 10-Minute Talk.
You guys, thank you, Build a Sister Up, Build a Brother Up. Thanks for having me this evening. So I'm really excited to share a little bit about what my business does, my company does, and a little bit about myself as an entrepreneur, being as though that's one of the focuses of Build a Sister Up. So definitely,
Jouanna,
yeah.
We got to start over. It didn't post on Facebook. So we're going to start over real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Let me know when you cue me in.
Okay.
It says recording at the top.
Yeah, it's recording. It's not live on Facebook. So we're going to delete this recording. Now I have a chance to say Miss Woods the first time.
It's cool. I mean, I'll be forgetting I'm Miss Woods until somebody address me anyway, half the time.
Why did it show? Let's try it again. Maybe because of this website.
It instantly got hot in my room with all my lights set up.
So while they're doing it, you have a home care service?
Yes, it's an in-home non-medical service.
Non-medical?
Yeah, it's non-medical.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
is it adults or non-medical?
Yes. You said what now?
Is it adult care or?
No, it's not adult care. So I don't really, and I'll kind of talk about this on the live because I want to share a little bit of.
We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Okay,
thank you all for joining us. And Qualitha, please.
All right. Once again, we come to you all the time. You know, we are Build a Sister Up. I'm Qualitha, Qualana, and Moya, and we also have a special guest, Jouanna, that's coming with her. Look at me. Today, and we'll get more into that. But you know, we come to you every day. Look at me once again. Bloopers. We come to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a 10-minute talk. Now, today we might go over a little bit. You know, if we do, just hang back, get you a cup of juice, cup of water, a sandwich, make some dinner, hang out and listen to us because it sounds like it's Entrepreneur Day today. I'm not sure, but I won't give and spill all the beans. I'll turn it over to Qualana and Amoya.
Yes, it most definitely is Entrepreneurship Tuesdays. Every Tuesday is Entrepreneurship Tuesdays on in our group where you can share, advertise your business services. And today we have special guest, Miss Jouanna Woods, owner of KCS In Home Care Services. And I've known Miss Woods for a long time, a very long time, since our days at Howard. She is very trustworthy. She is awesome. She's a mother. She cares and she just loves people. And it's going to reflect in the services that she's going to tell us about. Once again, Miss Jouanna Woods Miss Jouanna Woods of KCS In Home Care. She's going to tell us about her business, and she's going to want you to subscribe to those services, buy those services, and it's in the Maryland, DC area, and she's going to share more on that. Ms. Woods, take it away.
Well, thank you all. I just want to say thank you for Build a Sister Up, Build a Brother Up for having me this evening. You know, part of entrepreneurship is Build a Sister Up. So I'm really appreciative of this opportunity to kind of share a little bit about what I do. I'm not just my business, KCS In Home Care LLC. That's one of the main focuses. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I started growing up. When I was growing up, we did the little things like volunteering my time. That's, I said, would be like the most important part about being an entrepreneur is starting that giving process with the community. So I did that a lot as a kid, as a child. We went to the soup kitchen and helped. I mean, anytime we needed correction, that was my mom's idea of discipline, was to try to send us out to kind of help the community, make sure that we knew where we were and how blessed we were. So that's kind of where that first giving relationship started. And then it grew from there to, bake sales, cutting grass, selling Easter baskets, you name it. I've done it all. So this has just been kind of an evolution for me with the business that I currently have. KCS, I came into that with my mother. Actually, I'm a co-owner of the business. It was something that we see a lot of, especially African-American women, specifically in this industry with the CNA and nursing. And currently within the pandemic, the COVID pandemic and the front lines, we see a lot of our community being kind of, that being on our backs on that community, in terms of the pandemic and the impact that it's had. So that's kind of where KCS came in. It came in a little bit before that. I started and registered a business, I think in 2019. We had some clients and some services. And so that's just kind of a little bit about the etymology of KCS In Home Care and myself. So we'll get a little bit more into kind of the nitty gritty of my businesses and things of that nature, but I, want to hand it back to Kalana.
Yes. So of course, Mrs. Woods, that's Mrs. Woods. What exactly does your business provide? What services does it actually provide?
Okay, so we are very limited in services. First and foremost, KCS In Home Care KCS stands for Kind, Compassionate Support. And that is the services that we offer. We are non-medical, so we don't, there's a lot of liabilities associated with having a medical facility. What we do is we go into our clients' homes. We provide services like ADLs, which is ADL stands for Activities of Daily Living. So if you ever hear anyone say ADLs, that's what we assist with, or respite care. That's kind of the entire title of the industry. And so we go in, we provide day-to-day services for them, meal prepping, helping them get dressed in the morning, getting their hair done, brushing their teeth, getting them to their doctor's appointments. Now, typically our clientele is going to be the older population that's aging. Where our services come into play, or where they have the most impact for our customers, is when we can assist them in staying in their home. You and I, the people that's probably on this platform are typically younger people. They're not really concerned about the services that they may have, or, ailments when they get older and being able to live. But this is a reality. And this can be where some of us end up. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are unable to take care of themselves when they get older. That's why it's important, just as a side note, when you ladies as a group, you always posting the health activities and the challenges and following your daily diet. You have to be able to do those things and stick to the discipline, because we see the result of that within our industry. And a lot of times these folks are suffering from, in some cases, you can be preventable, or you can put them off for longer. So put off certain ailments for longer. So that's why this service is important. We basically just, again, go in and keep our clients in our home, keep them from going into nursing homes, keep them from deteriorating and having dignity at the end of their life, or even during their older age.
How is it funded? Is it a grant? Is it government funded? If you care to share with us.
That is a great question. And we are actually a for-profit business. Having this kind of structure, not saying that it's impossible, but there's a lot of red tape when it comes to receiving funds from the community. You may or may not be aware of that. There's a lot of liabilities already within the for-profit industry for home care. Typically, when you see these industries, home care is going to typically be in the for-profit sector. The reason for that is because the profits, of course, is a little bit more, you tend to see more profits on the profit side. When you're coming in terms of asking for funding on the nonprofit side, it's a lot of info. It's basically a whole nother class we would have to discuss about nonprofit and for-profit businesses and what you should select. But for us, it made more sense to do a for-profit just so that we can get started.
On that note, do you all accept insurance?
That's a great question. We are in the process of accepting Medicare or Medicaid, excuse me. Now, with that being said, you've opened up a great question, because another reason why I stress looking at some of your later years and planning out your retirement, Medicare does not cover in-home care assistance. They do not. It's called long-term care. Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
No.
Do you know exactly why that is?
I'm not sure. I know a lot of insurance companies don't offer it. It's called long-term care. It will be specific to your last of life plans. So anything dealing with your retirement, you actually have to take out a separate funding to be able to have someone come to your home. The only way that Medicaid covers you going into someone's or getting the services is for a limited amount of time. So let's say someone of an older age gets into a kind of car accident and they do have Medicare. Medicare would cover maybe 2 to 4 weeks of services. That means someone coming into your home, helping you to rehabilitate, and that's called rehabilitation. So they would offer that, but they don't let you stay on it very long. It is part of your retirement plans. And I know when I worked in the bank, because I came from retail banking, we have a specific sector that you can go to within the retail banking side that they would offer you just a specific care to long-term care package, but you need to go to mostly your life insurance. You want to ask them about the specifics regarding that segment, because it's a segment, it's an endorsement on your policy.
Okay, in that regard too, even younger people may need the service after an accident or after anything, because some people's range of motion may be limited. I work in a field where, I look at range of motion and all kinds of health issues. So it's actually a good idea for everybody. This is a much needed service, because older people and younger people, a lot of people don't have people to rely on to help them with their activities of daily living. It's just a fact. And services like this is exactly what people need to, once again, have that dignity and respect with themselves. So it not only helps physically, but also emotionally.
I agree with that. And to kind of further that, we do offer services. Of course, we don't disseminate. We don't say, oh, you don't need our services. It's up to the customer, the client, what they tell us they need. So again, like I mentioned, rehabilitation is one. Folks that are aging, but also that just had surgery. So sometimes women can get it. If you have a C-section and you have it in your capacity in your policy, you can actually get someone to come into your home and assist you while you recover from that kind of surgery as well. So home care agencies are really particular, really vast in the services that they can offer to a myriad of people, not just the older people, not just your grandmother, your aging aunt or something like that. It's a very needed, much needed service. And also the other portion or the subset that home care helps in is with adult they have like recognizance issues such as Alzheimer's and dementia. We go in to assist with that. So as you may or may not be aware, that was somewhat kind of an epidemic in terms of the amount of people that lose it and have these memory loss ailments. The other thing that they do is we also can go in and assist like an adult, how could I say, an adult that's kind of living on their own, like special needs, parents that have special needs, children and things like that. Yeah, and they need additional services. We can assist with that as well. So.
Okay. How many years of service does KCS In Home Care have? Years of experience does KCS?
Okay, so KCS was registered. We reorganized in 2019, not 1 year before the pandemic, of course. So I'm always going to have that burnt in my memory. So KCS has been in the business about 15 years. My mother has, I actually watched my mother go through a lot of her classes. I don't know if anybody else has been in a situation where if you're close to a family member and they're going through some kind of classes and things of that nature, it almost feels like you've also got that certificate, because the amount of studying that they're doing, and you're testing them, and you're helping them write this or this paper. I felt so connected with the industry already because of that. And then my mother's already been doing it. So like I mentioned before, she is the co-owner. She typically will go into the client's home and, you know, kind of manage that part of the process. I typically will stick with the operational portion or aspect of the business. So yeah, 15 years though.
I definitely endorse
Like 20.
KCS In Home Care. I definitely endorse your company, KCS In Home Care, because I know the both of you, you and your mother, and you all are kind and caring. And I know with a lot of nursing facilities, a lot of people can get negligent. A lot of the nursing assistants can get very negligent. And with the ability to actually do this before that comes to pass, before you have to actually put someone in a nursing home, you can easily just have, you know, someone come in and actually care, and you can see that they're caring for you. You can easily let them go if that's not the case. So this is a much needed service, and it's very, very endorsed by myself.
Well, one thing I want to add with KCS, you're going to find a lot of in-home care agencies out there. Okay. You've got some of my competition. You may have heard of Visiting Angels. Sometimes you will see the cars when you're on the road. You'll get on the road, you'll see them driving down the street. You have other, I won't name any other ones, but basically other services.
And don't shout them out, because you don't want to give nobody no idea.
Right, exactly. I'm not gonna name a whole lot. Yes. But the difference with KCS is that we truly do care about our clients. And I know a lot of times people hear that's, you know, it's kind of like atypical for you to say that, but it really is true. We care about our clients in the fact that we want to make sure that they stay in their home. And I think when this is my own personal theory, I'm not endorsing anybody else or anything. This is just coming specifically from me. But I think when companies get too big, I think they lose a lot of the personal touch that customers are used to having. And that's my ultimate goal, is to continue the personal touch. I think a lot of organizations, they get to a point where they're getting so many customers, so many clients, whether they lose a client, it doesn't matter to them. They're not going to improve their customer service process or acclimate the process to that specific client, which is what we do. We go into the home, we have a limit that we do, but I'm always flexible with my clients because I would want the same from someone else. I don't believe in the corporate process or the corporate response. You know, I typically try to stay with as personalized responding as I can, as personal services as I can. And I think that's important, as when you're out there as an entrepreneur, I don't think about the money. I mean, I know it sounds crazy because I'm in a business as a for-profit business, but I think about what am I going here to do to make sure that this client has all their needs met, or at least most of their needs met. Because sometimes you can't meet everybody's needs, especially being in customer service. I've been in customer service for as long as I've been working. I think it was 14 or something. I'm not gonna tell my age, but I've been in customer for a very long time. And some people are not pleased. That's not my goal. My goal is to at least meet them with most of their needs. And so I don't believe you can really do that unless you have that personal touch. You can't go in there asking about money and in there thinking about how much money your pockets are going to be built with. You meet the customer with the need, the money will follow. And I know a lot of people say that in the industry, but it really is true. Customers buy you. They don't buy KCS. They buy Jouanna Woods, excuse me, and then Captain Span. I'm missing my own last name up. But that's important to remember. I don't know anybody that's watching, but that's what I found. Even when I worked in banking as a retail banker for over 8 years, I struggled at first because all I kept thinking about was I need to do this, I need to meet this marker. And I didn't really see the customer sitting in front of me for a person. I mean, it sounds bad, but when you're in a kind of production environment where it's money, sell, it can be hard to really match the client with what their actual need is. And so once I started meeting the customer's need and actually listening to them, that's part of this skill with having a successful business, is listening. Then I started to ask more questions. And when I asked more questions, I found out that the customer needed a little bit more than what they first talked about. And I see that we may have.
No, they're still there.
Okay.
I have a question. I have a question for you. As far as the employment aspect, now, as far as anybody that is looking for jobs. There's a lot of people out here looking for jobs. Now, do you hire independent contractors, or do you have full-time employees, or do you
Okay,
want to touch on
that's
that a
a
little bit?
that's a very great question, and I was just talking to my mentor about this. One of the things that I do, I pride myself on, is hiring employees. I do not hire contractors. I don't believe, based on the employment laws, contractors versus employees, it's an extremely thin line. You can open up yourself to a lot of liability if you're hiring a contractor, yet you are calling them and telling them to go to XYZ house, how to do XYZ job and XYZ time. You have to be very, very specific about what it is that you tell your contractors to do versus an employee. Now, with that being said, there are some liabilities on our company that we have to report their taxes and take out their Medicare wages and so on and so forth. But I would prefer, every time I would choose to do it right every time when it comes to employing others, because you can read on the news every day that people are coming with wrongful employment liabilities or suits or what have you. So in order for me to keep myself and my business, what they say, in the black, I like to make sure I employ only employees. Now, with that being said, I have worked with contractors in the past, maybe a week or something like that, to test them out. It's an agreement between myself and that person. If they like with the schedule, then they'll go on and bring themselves. I mean, I bring them in as an employee. It's an agreement. And with that being said, I do want to just say one other thing about employees. For me, one of the ways that we set ourselves apart as a business is I'm very passionate about employee relations within their employer. So I don't even have employees. I have partners. Even though I bring them on as an employee, I don't even call them that. We're partners because we're going into the client's home, we're performing a service. Everybody's going to benefit. You're going to get your hourly rate that we discussed. I'm going to get whatever I need to get on my back end to keep my business running. I need you and you need me. It's not well, you need to do this and do that. They get to pick their own schedule. They get to pick where they work. They get to pick a lot of different things that are related to whatever the client needs. So whatever the scope of the client needs, that's what they get to pick. I try to keep the employees like close to their home. We're a really small company. So right now we don't have a lot of benefit options, but we're trying to increase that constantly. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my employees first, because when you take care of your employees, or quote unquote employees, like I said, I don't call them that, your needs of your business is going to get met every single time.
Yes. KCS In Home Care offers such a vital service needed across all communities. Okay.
Let's look at some of the questions in the chat. It says, Wanda says, so as we age, is it a good idea to invest in long-term care? So yeah, we
I
found
would
that out.
definitely recommend that. And you know what's funny about that? When I worked, just as a quick blurb, when I worked in retail banking, the amount of people that did not know, once they found out they had cancer and all these other crazy, ailments, they had no clue that the services that they were currently getting was not covering someone coming in. And it was detrimental on some of these families. Some of these people have, I'm just stressing the importance of looking into it, because some of these people have, you have aging parents. If you're an adult, right, you're paying bills, you're going to work every day, then you still have to come in and bathe your mother or change her, do all these things. You have to be responsible for a lot of that stuff. A lot of families live with their old aging parents to take care of them. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people I see, just heartbreaking, coming in that really need help, struggling, trying to get to work on time, can't make it to work, or can't, relying on their daughter or their child to help with grandma, you know what I mean? And the child's got their own little life. So it is extremely important to look into long-term care. Long-term care, that's what it's called.
We have one more question. What are the out-of-pocket costs, if you care to share?
Okay,
how can we find it out?
Out-of-pocket costs are, I cannot necessarily answer that question, because out-of-pocket costs are regional. In the DC DMV region area, you're typically going to spend in home care maybe $3,000 a month, up to, if you're doing like a full, I would say between 5 to 7 days, and that's about 6 hours a day. If you're doing that. Now, if you need less than that, you might spend a little bit less. Now compare that with, I'll give you two figures. The nursing home is the minimum on that is about $6,500 a month. If you go into the nursing home, that's how much they're going to charge you. Yes, ma'am. And I
6,500.
know from firsthand experience. Yes, yes, correct. The second one is you go into one of the nicer ones, and I'm not going to name some of the ones that you see.
Jeez.
But if you go into one of the nicer ones, you're looking at some serious cash, serious cash. My clients, when I worked with my clients for 8 years that I worked at the bank, my clients was selling their homes so that they can give the rest of their funds over to the nursing home. Those really nice, ritzy ones, the long-term ones where you go in and they have all those amenities, that stuff costs money. It was about 60,000 or more, I think, a year. That doesn't cover your food. That doesn't cover you going on vacation. A lot of these people are selling, when you get to that age and they, done with their children, their grandchildren, they're selling their homes just to be able to give long-term care. Nursing homes make so much cash because they have people that will leave their actual home, sell their home, and go live in the nursing home until their dying day. When you come with an in-home care agency, you're spending half that amount, half that amount. And on top of that, what I've mentioned about me working with my clients, I have worked with clients who have lower incomes and lower funds. We have a sliding scale in my company. So we work based on many factors. I won't get into all of them, but basically we work based on a lot of factors. But that's the average cost if you go to look it up in DC. The average cost is $3,500. Then the low nursing home is about $65.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And also, Wanda says, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. LLC is long-term care is highly needed. So again, tell us the services you offer: rehabilitation, respite care.
Yes.
What other services again?
I'm trying to think of all of them because with the pandemic, we've had to limit services, as you can imagine, being that some of them are high risk services in terms of, certain things that we're not able to do necessarily because of the pandemic. We want to make sure that we keep our clients safe, and especially the type of clients we deal with, they have a higher contact rate or whatever you want to call it. I forget what it's called. You can actually go to my website, KCSInHomeCare.com. It's extremely helpful. It lists all the services there. And I'm going to see if I can actually.
It's right here.
People are like, why don't you know all your services?
We have it here.
What I've been doing is doing respite care. That's our main, most priority service.
We have your website here. You can just go through it if you like. Can you see it?
Yes, I can. So,
okay.
Okay. Wait a minute. My machine don't want to act right. Okay. So, as you can see, it says the specific, this is exactly what we offer. Daily living, dietary needs. That's basically your food prep and meal prep. Mobility assistance. So that includes getting you to your appointments. Then we have the little bit of non-standard care. These are a little bit more involved with your errands. There's certain liabilities that you get into. So there's some standard care services we need to address on that. That's just an example of some of them. There is, that's pretty much what we offer is on this right on this page, actually. You can make an appointment on my website. We do offer online payments as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
We can contact you at the contact us link right there, or a book consultation.
You can contact for a consultation. I typically take calls on my personal line, but there's a business line as well right now.
And we have some testimonials. This is KCSInHomeCare.com. Once again, KCSInHomeCare.com. Go there. Miss Woods was telling us about the sliding scale of services, and I'm guessing it depends on what you need. So that's how much the cost would be. And this is not to say I can't help my parents, or I can't help my sibling, or I can't help my uncle. It's you supplementing your help because you have to provide as well. So this actually is a great benefit to the community. It's vital. It's such a vital service that's offered because a lot of people are restricted in the things that they can do through no fault of their own, and they just need help, and you're just not always there to help. And you don't want to just leave them left out. You don't want to just push them off to a nursing home, but you want to ensure that they have the care that they need. And KCS In Home Care Services can do that for you.
Right. My biggest takeaway is that they can stay at home because when we get older, it's not our ideal dream to put our
Home on
parents
the
or our
market
loved
either.
ones in
Right.
the nursing home. So this will keep them at home, comfortable where they know, what they're used to, what they're familiar with. So this is just an extra added service that you can use. Once again, KCS, they love their clients. They seem to truly care about their clients and their well-being. And the services that they offer are just great. I mean,
Phenomenal, yeah.
they really are.
It says we should choose you because you are committed to providing quality rates that will fit many budget conscious families. And in this day and age, that's exactly what we need. A lot of the other providers have been out there and they're larger and they may not give you a great rate, like KCS In Home Care will. So call them up, get their services.
Although we
You need
love
them.
that you have a small sector of the business, we do hope and pray that your business grows
Yes.
immaculately.
Oh, thank you very
Lord.
much. We
Lord.
are committed to this community, the DMV area, and then, we'll go from there. But I love this area. I've been here for about, how long have I been here, y'all? What, 15 years or something like that? I live in Washington, D.C. I'm a resident here. I own a home here. I have a family here. So I'm committed to this community and just making sure that we can keep our folks, in their homes with dignity.
That is ties to the community. So when a person has ties to the community, they want to see better for the community. And when they open up a business in the community, they want to spread the experience and the knowledge and the care and the wherewithal to keep caring for their community. So that's what Ms. Woods has done with KCS In Home Care Services. She's offering, once again, a vital service of assisting with your activities of daily living, your ADLs.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on and telling us and sharing about your beautiful business, KCS. Can you tell us one more time what KCS stands for?
KCS is kind, compassionate support.
And that's exactly what
So
Jouanna
I
offers.
am going to be, just to keep in mind, if the site ends up looking different, we're adding some new materials. KCS has been truly impacted as a small business by the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm sure you're all aware of that. So, we're fully open. We don't, it's not like we're, we have services and we're ready to work. We really ready to work. We've been out for a year.
And on that note, you follow all COVID regulations,
Yes,
local and federal.
I keep my nose in that CDC website and other sources, truly scientific based sources to get my information from regarding the COVID pandemic. I'm just staying abreast on everything that's related to that. And then we do comply and we want to make sure we keep our clients safe, our partners safe, your family safe. We don't play around with that.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Mrs. Woods,
Great.
for coming on and telling us all about the wonderful services KCS In Home Care Services offer. It's wonderful, very, very wonderful. If I ever need the service, I'm going to use it, of course.
Well, I just want to say, I'm definitely excited to have this opportunity to speak to you all. Definitely have me on again because I have some other, gems that I want to share about some of the other things that I'm doing as well.
Really?
And yes, I definitely do.
So it sounds like you have
queen.
your
I love it.
fingers in everywhere, huh?
I do. Yes. I have a couple of other things going on in terms of some businesses. And I want to shout out I don't know if anyone can see this, but I want to shout out the Women's Business Center in Washington, D.C. Latoya Brandt is her name. I can give you her contact information. If any of you, need some assistance with some services that Washington, D.C., your nation's capital, is required by law to offer specific services related to your business, small business, come and see me so we can get you all. I want to see our Black folks win out there. Okay,
right.
I don't want no excuses about a business plan, none of that. Now, the Women's Business Center, they got you down there. I'm telling you, I've had a really good experience for the last 4 years down there.
Resourceful is what Miss Woods is. Obviously, she used those services.
I got a lot of contacts for y'all. I got some contacts at the
Really?
SBA. I got contacts with sam.gov where KCS is registered to open up federal contracts. Black-owned business, women-owned business. I got a lot of stuff for y'all, okay? So y'all come and let me know.
So basically you're saying if someone wants to open up a business or start a business or has a plan, what am I trying to say?
Business plan.
Business plan. If someone actually has a business plan, you can get them to that right person and help them
Yes. Yep.
walk the path of
Yes.
owning that business.
Yes, yes, ma'am. That's correct. Yeah, I've got a really great contact. Several of them actually. I
Really?
be bothering them all the time. They
That's really good. As long as we're living, we should have our hands in different things and be knowledgeable.
when it's
about
free,
different
and
things.
there's I'm not, no shade to people online that's, you know, what is that? Coaching, business coaching.
Like
And all of that,
right.
you got to pay all these fees and the monthly
Yeah.
subscriptions and the classes, blah, 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 blah. Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
But I
Not a
had a
business.
barrier with finances when I first started off, and I'm still have barriers with finances, as we all are, because we're entrepreneurs. That's kind of the nature of it. I'm not a millionaire. It's free. Why are we waiting around? Why are you waiting around to save, you know, $2,500 to give to someone? You can go down there to the free service center and get everything you need. Straight up.
Good.
Thank you for that.
on
Don't be
yeah.
paying for no free stuff.
On that note, there's a federal Small Business Administration, and the federal Small Business Administration probably has lots of business centers in each state. So look to
That's
those
correct.
states to contact the Small Business Administration. Definitely. And different resources like which one is this? Women's Business?
This is the National Women Business Center of Washington,
Okay.
D.C. And
Okay.
they do service the DMV area. So they service Maryland and Northern Virginia. Is that right? Northern Virginia? Yeah, I think Northern Virginia. The DMV area. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
know they're gonna keep me up sending whole traffic. Hopefully I'm sending some traffic over there. But I'm telling you, I'm telling y'all, that's it.
And you know, I was watching an episode of a Real Housewives episode yesterday, and one of the ladies on there, I don't know if she was for real, but she didn't have a business plan or the where to start for what type of registration she should have for her state. So even for her, even for professors, that's her field, PhD professors.
okay.
A lot of people don't have all the resources. So in that regard, check out the free resources. Okay.
Go to free before you take out
Pay a
any
fee.
money.
Go to
Yes.
free before you pay. a
Yes,
fee.
utilize and exhaust all the free local services in your community. There's other services. I'll be going into the community. I'll be learning about stuff all the time. A lot of places where I get other information is those community events. A lot of times when you look on you're going down the street, like South Capitol, DC, or anywhere in DC, really, if you start looking around, they have posters about some of the community events. I go down there. I'm being down there networking. You know, I go down there and find out about the rental programs that they're offering, all kinds of. I don't need assistance with that, but if you know somebody that needs assistance with that, I can get you to the right area. Because all I did was spend some time going to these little block parties, and they have this stuff. They have the little stuff there. Be careful where you go, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of places you can go to get that information. So definitely, you know, I want to share some of that with you on some, you know, later episodes or later when you guys gather again about some of those resources that I have, helping with advertising, helping with the hiring. I can talk to you about the differences between the entities for the company entities, you know, registering your business. We can go all day with that stuff.
Yeah.
I also have another thing that I'm doing specific with the SBA. So I can talk to you a little bit about some of the services that they offer. And it's really just free. It's all online anyway. So you can just go in, but learning a little bit more about what it is you have at your fingertips.
So this
And you
lady,
brought
Miss
up a
Woods.
good point. One key thing that you brought up that we all have to do is talk. We can't be afraid to talk,
Exactly.
listen, and learn and research ourselves. So it sounds like that's how you learned so much of things that you learned that you're willing to share with everybody else. We can't be afraid to talk. So that's one thing a lot of people are afraid to do is talk, open up their mouth and ask questions. It's okay to go to these free events. Like you said, you went to block parties. There's a lot of people that don't go to block parties, but it's so much information out there that you will learn just by going to speak to people. Because with me, I'm always talking to somebody, always. And I don't talk to people just because I'm nosy. Okay, yes, I do. But I want to find out what you know,
Right,
because
right.
you know more than me. I need to know that information too. And if I have something I can share with you, why not share it, you know?
I agree with that. As far as talking to, I notice a lot with successful entrepreneurs. I'm going to speak through the lens of a Black woman because that's who I am. When I notice in repetition is that a lot of other Black entrepreneurs want to keep their secret sauce to themselves.
That is
It is
true.
the most
True.
annoying thing that I can ever witness online.
Oh.
It drives me in freaking insane. Okay. We as a community are down here in terms of business and being successful and all the other factors that you bring into it, net worth, all that. Why? If you know the secret sauce, now I'm not saying that you don't have to charge for it. Okay, you know, because nothing is free. But some people really don't want to come up off of any kind of information. And that just annoys me to no end. That's why I'm very talkative about, you know, going to this place or going to that place. Now, my services, my recommendations is going to be free. Okay. I believe in free. I am one of those very resourceful, and I like to keep as much money in my pocket so that I can do the things that matter to me. I don't like to be frivolous with my money. I like to put it in the right place. So for me, it works. But some people don't want to give you any kind of information, or every turn of the table, every turn of the page is pay me $5 more, pay me $5 more. And then you're getting very little details or very little information. It's not very helpful. A lot of stuff that they offer is found right on a Google search. That is not a real mentor, in my opinion. A lot of your mentorship comes from your experience, your success, and the secret sauce. A lot of people don't want to share that. So
Yeah, you don't have to give away the product. I
don't want to give away the product. That's not what I'm saying.
Just give a little bit of the game, you know,
not
the product that you're selling, just give the game. There's like nothing wrong with that, because your success is in your product. Sometimes it's behind what the game is, but the game is to be shared, not fared.
Yeah, that sounds like a whole new subject that we should talk about. Why doesn't the Black community want to help each other a little bit more? The crabs in the barrel mentality has to go. We have to be able to uplift everybody, because again, it's enough money to go around. All of us should be able to start that generational wealth, which we lacked many years ago. And that's another subject too. All of us should be able to have a fresh start and getting this money, right?
Yes,
right.
If one is successful, two can be. If two are four, you know, the multiple factors, you know, the more of us that are successful, the more of us that can be successful, because the gates and the doors will be broken down for the ladders of success. So
that's right.
Mrs. Woods of KCS In Home Care. She is knowledgeable. KCS In Home Care is knowledgeable in the field of in-home care, and caring and courageous and brave and loving and kind and nurturing. Those are the services. Those are the services they can provide you. Once again, go to kcsinhomecare.com to contact KCS In Home Care for your consultation. Thank you, Mrs. Woods.
Thank you so much for joining in. And thank you to everybody who has commented and watched this live. Hopefully you got a lot of information. She threw out a lot of gems at us. Hopefully you guys were taking notes. We should have said that, but hey, go back and watch the replay.
YouTube,
you can do that. That's one thing about these lives. You can go back and replay it, and you can take those notes as you need to. It sounds like we should have Mrs. Woods on another time, because she still has some more information to share with us, and we're all ears, and we want to have this information out for everybody in our groups. But as always, build better, build bold, build brilliant, build a brother up and build a sister up.
Thank you, Mrs. Woods.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.